What's good? It's the big homie SB23 back at you with some more words of wisdom. We're going to talk about how to control your dark side. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the message and gems to anybody that might need it. So in order to control your dark side, you have to first acknowledge that it's there, because we all have it. We all have that alter ego. You know, every single one of your emotions is a different version of yourself. So if you've ever seen that movie Inside Out, where it shows you like how every different emotion will take over the control board, and you'll turn into a different person every time you flip into a different emotion. So we're all us, but we're all built up of different versions of ourselves within every emotion that we hold. So in order to control your dark side, and you need to understand that it's there first, acknowledge it, and recognize it's not going nowhere. So since we know it's not going anywhere, the best thing we can do to utilize it in the proper way is to make friends with it. So you got to make friends with your demons. And I know that might sound crazy when I say it, but it's real. You got to make friends with that darkness within you, because it's not a power that is necessarily bad when it's it's not bad at all when it's in control. It's bad when you don't have control of it and you're just out here operating however you think you can operate, and you're by not having it controlled, then you're hurting people. But when you make friends with your demons, that's just really facing your fear. That's just another way to say you're facing your fear. So whatever fears you have, those are the demons that haunt you, and they always come up at some point here and there and rear their ugly heads. And the only reason why they have any power is because oftentimes we don't face it. You know what I'm saying? We don't, whatever it is, whether it's your fear of height, your fear of spiders, your fear of death, your fear of losing your job, or whatever the case may be, whatever your fear is, you know what your fear is. When you don't face it, and when you don't dive into why it is that you fear what you fear, then that fear is going to hold you back and keep you stagnant. So again, like I said in one of my other videos, fear is an illusion. Fear is false evidence appearing real, and there's nothing really to be afraid of. You know, that's there because your ego, like I was saying in one of my other videos, is on your shoulder, and it's talking to you in your ear, telling you stuff that's not factual. You know what I'm saying? So it might tell you you're not enough, or you know, you don't have the capabilities to do this or do that, or it might tell you that this certain person that you're dealing with is moving a certain way because of this and that, when really that's not the case at all. They could be moving with pure intentions and no ill will for you, but your ego, but you've letting your darkness rule how you move so much that you listen to everything it says, and it'll have you thinking and feeling some type of way. Because your ego is nothing more than an alter, your alter ego, literally. That's what the ego is. It's a different version of you. It's the darker version of you, directly opposite of the light version of you. So the light version of you is like that inner child. It's that that person who just wants to have a good time, wants to have fun, wants to live life and be free and enjoy every second that you can. But the alter ego in you is that side of you that might hold resentment, or might hold fear, or might hold anger, or whatever lower level vibrational emotion that you might be dealing with on that side. So again, like I said, in order to control that and bring it together and merge both sides together into one cohesive unit that's balanced, you want to acknowledge whatever your fears are, whatever your alter ego is, and then basically you got to have a conversation with yourself and say, hey, listen, I know you're there. I know that you are a part of me, but you don't control what's going on. I'm in control, and I can utilize you, but only in certain times. You know what I mean? So by doing that, it's an acknowledgement of what's there instead of you shunning it. Because when you try to suppress anything, the more you suppress it, the more pressure that builds up, and we all know that pressure busts pipes. So after a certain amount of time of that pressure building up, it's gonna come out in an explosive manner, and it could be detrimental to your life and then the people that are around you, their lives too. So instead of not acknowledging that part of you, trying to make it seem like you don't have that part of you. It's better to acknowledge that part and then implement it in a way that is constructive, because you can use it in a positive way. The best example I can give of that everybody knows is Batman. Batman is one of my favorite superheroes, even though he's really not a superhero in the sense of that he has superpowers, but his superpower is the fact that he uses his intelligence and his wit and his physical capabilities to outsmart his opponents. But what I'm saying when it comes to the darkness is, you know, Bruce Wayne, he experienced trauma early on as a kid when his parents were unalived right in front of him, and from that he built a whole bunch of darkness within himself from that situation, which we all often do too. There's some sort of thing that happened in your life that caused you trauma, and from that point of when the trauma hit, it created a darkness within you that resides within you. And you know, oftentimes in life people don't acknowledge that. They don't acknowledge that pain or that hurt or the reason as to why they're in pain or hurt. You know, you try to ignore it instead of facing into it. It's like you're trying to run from the storm instead of just facing the storm and then going through the storm and then making it out on the other side stronger. So Bruce Wayne, he had a period to where he was kind of running from it, but then he ended up embracing his darkness. But within embracing his darkness, he does not use it in a bad way. He uses it to help people in need, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to use your darkness when it's applicable to help those in need, or protect yourself when you need to protect yourself. Or there's other ways you can implement it too. Like for me, I know oftentimes when I'm making music, it could depend on whatever emotion I'm dealing with, like I was saying at the beginning. But that side of me can come out during my music. So if it's a song that's like, let's say if I'm going through something and it's like maybe a dark period in my life, I'll take that darkness and then I'll express it in a song. And so instead of putting it out on somebody else or putting it out on the people around me, I'll put it out through this music. I transmute that energy, and then I let it go. So yeah, that alter ego of mine comes out when I'm doing music or when I'm creating art. So there's Steve Brown, who everybody knows me as, you know, on a regular everyday basis, but SB23 is the alter ego that resides within that, and where I will utilize that darkness in a different manner. Instead of hurting somebody, I express it in a different way. So again, with Batman, that was the whole thing. If you think about Batman within himself, he is a crime fighter, and he moves within the shadows. Like, all the people who aren't doing good, they're afraid of him, because they know that not only is he super smart and has all these gadgets, and you know what I mean, he'll whoop on you, but you never know when he's coming, because he's coming out of the shadows. He operates in the shadows. So it's not like Superman, where you're gonna see Superman's gonna pull right up on you. Batman will come out the shadows, whoop you real quick, and then disappear and get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying when it's like embracing your darkness and using it for good. That's the best example I can come up with. And there's other characters and different things that do the same thing. Like for my anime heads, like Vegeta and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and Sasuke from Naruto is the same example. It's like Sasuke is that one who came up and he had a whole lot of trauma and stuff like that, and he dealt with his trauma not in the right way at the beginning, but towards the end, once Naruto put that whooping on him, after he got whooped, then he realized his mistakes, and then he started to use that darkness within him for good. So even one of my favorite characters from Naruto, Itachi, was the same thing. Itachi operated in the shadows, but what he was doing it for was for the good of humanity. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to that, you don't have to shun your darkness. You just have to have control over it, because there's multiple ways to utilize it in a way that's not going to hurt people. it's going to help people. So if you want to become one, because becoming one means that you're at balance on both ends. Excuse me. So that means you got the light and the dark operating together. Again, even in the Naruto show, Naruto, the main character Naruto, he had a nine-tailed fox living within him. That was the demon fox, and the whole show was basically a depiction of him, who he was somebody who was like always trying to help people and walk within the light, but then everybody was afraid of him because of the fox that he had within him. But at some point, and then even within him, him and the fox were at odds with each other sometimes, because the fox didn't want to be within him, and then he didn't want the fox within him. But then once he realized, like, wait a minute, this fox that's within me is actually a benefit to me, then that's when they came together and they united the powers that they have together, and then he became extremely powerful. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if any example, it's the same thing. It's just understanding your shadow side and then incorporating that side into yourself to make yourself whole. And in order to make yourself whole, all that means is that you have to heal that part of yourself that was traumatized as a kid or whenever it happened to you. Most of the times it's when you're a kid, but sometimes it could be later on in life. If you had a nice childhood coming up, at some point during your life, something traumatic is going to happen to you, and you're going to have to overcome that. But the only way you can overcome it and not let it overtake you is by facing it. If you run away from it, then you're not going to ever have a harmonious way of living. You're always going to be off balance, and then things are always going to be kind of crazy within your life. But once you can get a hold of that that energy and use it for goodness, then you will be able to flourish. You'll be able to come into all of the blessings that you are going to receive, or that you might want, or the things that you might want to manifest. When you manifest them, you'll manifest them within the right energy. Instead of a dark energy, you'll manifest it in light, or well, you'll manifest it with balance, because again, we all are light and dark beings. We all have both sides in us. It's just whatever side you're leading with is gonna dictate how things come to you. So if you're leading with darkness, then, you know, if you're leading with darkness more often than not, then dark things are going to come to you. But if you're leading with the light, then light things are going to come to you. So like I always say, all it's about is energy. So whatever energy you're coming with, again, if you're using your light in a mischievous way, then that doesn't count. You're going to be getting mischievous things coming back to you because you used your light in an attempt to manipulate somebody. If you use your darkness in a good way, that means that you are going to get something good back towards you, because the energy behind you using the darkness was good. So it's always about the energy you're carrying with anything that you're doing. It's not necessarily about what you're doing. It's about the energy that you're carrying within what you're doing. So yeah, that's just some words of wisdom from the big homie. If you want to be extremely powerful, you want to harness that dark side of yourself and then put it together with the light and create balance. And then once you get that balance, then you can do anything in this world. You know, there's no limits to what you can do, because you understand the laws and you understand what it is to be somebody who moves with good energy no matter what. So even if you're leading with darkness, the good energy is gonna shine through whatever darkness that you're using, like Batman. Or if you're leading with light, and there's good energy behind the light that you're shining, then obviously something more good things are gonna come to you. So that's just some words of wisdom from the big homie, y'all. All right, I'm out of here. I'm gonna holla.